Okay.
So
after that interruption by my 28-year-old child.
Esteban's last name. I do want to give him like another week and make sure, because he had a really tough time with his S.
Yeah.
It's a hard one. So I want to make sure that he kind of keeps it up because it's looking good right now. But then, yeah, I would be willing to start on his last name along with Haley. A couple of the other ones, there's still some letters that they just form weird. Like their name looks beautiful, but their Y's are like this or something.
Let's take a look at the level 2 sign-in reflection sheets, just to see like where we think they're at.
Okay.
So let's look at Esteban. So he's just beginning to learn how to complete the introductory skill. I think she's passed there.
Yeah.
Right?
He's reliably doing it.
Okay.
High level.
So would you say do you think he's more in the yellow or the red then?
So I would say he would be high yellow.
High yellow.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna give him high level. Wait, this is level 2. I'm gonna go yellow for him because he's pretty consistently doing it. He's pretty good even if he's not looking at his name.
Yeah.
Like on our sign-in board, his name usually looks pretty good, and he doesn't always grab his name to do it.
Okay.
He's pretty good about knowing if there is like, you know how children identify their letters in their name. Like he will point out if it's a capital B, that's a B, but it's not like the one in my name. So he does know the difference in that it's not just, well, that's the same letter, so whatever.
Right.
So I would give him a yellow, I think.
In the yellow, okay. There's one other thing that I noticed is, I know we talked before about if they're forming a letter incorrectly, it's okay to go back and help them do it again. With him, some of his letters, I'm almost wondering if you might want to go back to model a couple of them. Because he had a few, and it might have just been there was a lot going on in the room. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, that was one of the things that I'm like, it says don't write their name this time, but I want to show him, because in the journals, it was a different child, needed to practice their Ks. So I'm like, okay, so we got out the whiteboard and we were doing it. So I'm like, I should be able to do this at sign-in, but I don't know with level 2 if I can't be doing that anymore.
Here's the thing, there's a little flexibility here.
Okay.
So feel free to support.
Okay.
Anyway, even though it doesn't say it specifically in the level 2 sign-in list, as long as you're hitting all those things, if you feel that you need to go back and model a little bit, feel free to do that.
All right.
Because I think that might have helped him a little bit too, because he seemed to know basically what he was doing, but then like the starting at the bottom, and you kind of had, and if you had modeled it, I think you would have nailed it.
Okay.
So with Esteban, you're thinking probably sticking right with what you're doing for a little while.
For a little while.
And then with Haley, you're thinking maybe moving on and doing.
I think so, considering she pretty much has her first name down. There's a couple little kinks in there every once in a while, but she also has a really easy last name. Perry.
Oh, yeah.
So Perry. Like, I think that would be an appropriate challenge for her.
And it sounds like she's showing interest.
Yeah, she wants to do it. Earlier in the year, her dad basically bribed her to get her first and last name written. So she has it. Like everything wasn't right, but she had it. So she's aware of the letters in it. And so I think that would be a good step for her. Because, I mean, really her G is the only thing that gets a little funky sometimes. But.
So I'm thinking we're probably pretty close to ready to write a goal.
All right.
What do you think?
Okay, let's write a goal.
All right. So what are your thoughts? I'm thinking,
Is level 3 the last name thing?
I honestly am not sure.
Okay.
I have not looked at
You
level
kind
3
of
to be
seemed
honest.
like you were building up to that, so.
No, we can do last
Okay.
names with level 2.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So.
So I'm wondering if you could have just like a mini goal for Haley
Yeah, because I'm like,
and an overall goal.
I think that would be better because she needs a little bit more of a challenge,
Mhm.
but nobody else is ready for that.
Yeah. So
So-
I'm wondering, like, if you're gonna write just a little goal just for Haley.
Just for Haley, I would like to have her. It's not even like we're starting working on her last name because we do it every once in a while.
Mhm.
So I think more of the correct formation of her last name letters because
Okay.
they're all different. For the most part, they're different than her
Uh-huh.
first name. So working with her on her last name, forming the correct the letters correctly.
Okay.
There's
So I'm gonna have you write
mini
it
goal.
down.
Okay.
Okay. So there's the individual Haley goal.
Okay. Mini Haley goal.
Mini Haley.
And then for the rest of the class, should I focus on making sure my language is consistent?
I think
or-
that would be really
Okay.
interesting, just to
Alright.
see, to focus on your language, and then what are you going to see
Okay.
when you use consistent language? What's that going
Alright.
to tell you?
I mean, if I consistently use the language, they know the words, they're familiar with them. So when I ask them the question, I can actually know if they know it or not, or if I threw them off with some weird word.
Right. So if you're using the consistent language, you're going to see
Mhm.
whether they actually know if things are capitals.
Yeah. They'll,
Or
they'll know the
lowercase.
vocab I'm using.
Yeah, if it's a capital or lowercase, or if there is confusion between, what is
Alright.
it? Is it because they're tall or?
Would it be like for letters or?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think that there's really something wrong between capital or uppercase. I think it's just maybe the inconsistency.
Yeah, because
And you
I
may
feel-
find it doesn't matter.
Might not. But I wouldn't be surprised if I am jumping back and forth between
Mhm.
those. Okay, so capital versus lowercase. Make sure I stick to the script because I faltered a little bit on the B word language. Is there anything else you noticed or you can think of that?
No, I
Might
think
kind
that's
of-
I think that's going to be a really good goal
Okay.
just to focus in on.
All right.
And you're probably going to know within how long do you think it'll take before you kind of get a feeling of?
I feel like if I talk to Hillary about it and we are like watching each other on
Uh-huh.
it, because she needs to be using the same language
Right.
too.
Yeah.
I feel like we'd know within a week or two if
Mm-hmm.
we are kind of bouncing back and forth in the language because I mean there's lowercase, which is always lowercase,
Right.
but I know sometimes I do say capital, And I'm sure I say uppercase because it's the same thing.
Yeah. So in
So.
that same time frame, do you think you're going to have a pretty good feel whether the kids have a grasp of capital
I think
and
some of them.
lower? Okay.
I think some of them towards the end of like the 2 week, I could really get a feel for.
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually know what's going on here? So it would be interesting to see.